Let's study more about atomic structure. So an atom is formed from the nucleus and the extranuclear part. These contains three types of subatomic particles. So we have nucleus, we have protons, we have neutrons, and we have electrons. Let us study in detail about them. First we have the nucleus. The atomic nucleus is positively charged. Almost entire mass of the atom is concentrated in the nucleus. The nucleus contains two types of the subatomic particles. So in the nucleus we have protons and we have neutrons. So inside nucleus we have positively charged protons and neutrally charged neutrons. So inside the nucleus we have protons and we have neutrons. Protons are positively charged and we denoted by P. Neutrons are neutrally charged and we denoted by small n. Next we have the electrons which are present outside the nucleus. They are present in the orbits. Now the electrons are negatively charged particle and they are denoted by symbol E, that is small e, and we put a minus sign on the top. Also they have a negative charge, that is the reason why we put that minus sign. Now electrons which are there, they revolve around the nucleus of the atom and they also revolve in their specific orbit. So for example, if the orbit is there, the second orbit, so they will revolve in the second orbit only. So these are the electrons. Now based on these electrons and based on the nucleus, we also have the atomic number and atomic mass number. Now the electrons revolve in the stable shell. They will always be present in their stable shell only, and also they have a definite energy, and the shells we have referred it as KLMN. That is, if you have to occupy the electrons, so in the first shell 2 electrons, in the second shell 8 electrons, in the third shell 80, in the next shell 32 electrons. So these way the electrons are present in the shell, and these are the distribution of the electrons. Now if I say what is atomic number, so atomic number is the electrons, that is the number of electrons which are present, or you can say the number of protons which are present in an atom. So if I tell you that what is the atomic number, so atomic number will be the number of electrons, that is here the number of electrons which are present, or the number of protons which are present in that atom is called as what? Atomic number, and we denote it by a symbol Z. Next, if I ask you what is atomic mass number, so it is nothing but the total number of protons and neutrons which are present inside the nucleus. Now we know that inside this the protons and neutrons are present. So protons and neutrons का जो number है, that is called as the atomic mass number, and we denote it by A. Now next is the electronic configuration. You must have heard about electronic configuration. So electronic configuration is nothing but the number of electrons which are present. We put them in their shell, that is we distribute them in their shell, that is called as the electronic configuration. Now shell-wise distribution of electrons in an atom of an element, so that will be called as what? Electronic configuration. Now each electron, they have their definite energy as the shell which is present. Now energy of electrons in the first shell, that is the K shell, is the lowest. Then the energy of electrons in the next shell, it increases. Then in the third shell it will increase. The fourth shell again it will increase. Now here if you will see, there are few elements. For example, first is hydrogen. Now hydrogen has only one electron, so that is why in the first shell we have put only one electron. Next is helium. Helium has two electrons, so here in the first shell we have put two electrons. Next is carbon. Now carbon has how many electrons? That is 6 electrons. So now you have to distribute 6 electrons in the two shells. So in the first shell you will put 2 electrons, then 6 minus 2 is how much? 4. So in the next shell how many you will put? 4 electrons, because only 4 electrons are there. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. But this is not stable. Why it is not stable? Because it is not complete. This is complete because in the second shell there should be 2 electrons, इसमें 2 electrons है. This is also not complete because यहाँ पे 2 होना चाहिए but यहाँ पर एक ही है. यहाँ पे 4 है, more 4 it want, that is 8 electrons होने चाहिए, but it has only how much? 4. Next is what? Neon. So neon is 10. So first we have put 2 electrons in the first shell, then 10 minus 2 is 8. Then in the next shell we have put 8 electrons, and this is stable as it is having 8 electrons, it is complete. Next we have sodium. Sodium has 11 electrons. So first we have put 2 electrons. Then in the next shell we have put 8 electrons. Then 2 plus 8 is what? 10. And then one more is left, that is 1. So 1 we have put in the last shell. Now this is not complete because it is having only 1. It should have either 8 or the next one, that is 18. Now another term is valency and valence electron. Now we know that we put the electrons in their shell, but जो outermost shell होता है, that is the last shell, so that shell is called as the valence shell, and the electrons in the outermost shell are called as valence electron. But one thing you have to remember, that valency of an element is same as the number of its valence electron if this number is 4 or less than 4. So for example, here we have 3 electrons, then the valency becomes 3. If we have 2 electrons, then the valency becomes 2. If we have 1 electron, the valency becomes 1. But if it has 4 electrons or more electrons, for example, here it will be 6 electrons. Now valency cannot be 6. Then what will be the valency? How much it needs to complete the orbit? 6 है, कितना चाहिए? 8. That means how much more is needed? 2. So 2 will be the valency. जितना ज़्यादा चाहिए रहेगा उसको, फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर 7 है, मतलब कितना चाहिए कंप्लीट होने के लिए? 1. सो दैट मीन्स वैलेंसी बिकम्स 1. सो इफ इट इज मोर देन 4, देन वी काउंट व्हाट? जितने इलेक्ट्रॉन्स वो लेगा दूसरे से टू कंप्लीट इटसेल्फ, दैट इज काउंटेड एज द वैलेंसी. एंड इफ इट इज लेस देन 4, देन फॉर एग्जाम्पल it is 3 electrons were there here, so 3 becomes the valency. Now let's understand how the sharing and giving of electrons takes place. Now here if you will see, here is sodium, that is Na. It is having how many electrons? 11. So here are 2, then 8 in the next shell and 1 in the next shell, that is the last shell. Next is chlorine. Chlorine has 7 electrons. So first we have put 2, then we have put 8, and then 7 are there in the last shell. Now here if you will see, here is how much electrons? Only 1 electron is there. And here how many electrons are there? 7 electrons are there. Now if it will take 7 electrons from someone else and it will complete its orbit, then it is not good because he is asking for more. But if it gives this 1 electron to this one, for example ये अपना 1 electron क्लोरीन को दे देगा, so that means क्लोरीन के पास कितने हो जाएंगे? 8 electrons हो जाएंगे. And if it will become 8, then this orbit will become complete. It will complete its octet. That is, ये जो last shell है ये complete हो जाएगा. So this is called as the giving and sharing of electrons. So here this electron will be given to this. ये 7 लेने से अच्छा what it will do? It will give this 1 electron to chlorine and this will also get complete. इसके पास भी 8 हो गए and इसके पास भी 8 हो गए and both will complete itself. So here you can see this one extra electron which was there in sodium. This sodium, it gives 1 electron, that is it shares 1 electron with the chlorine atom. And what it does, it completes itself. Now as this is giving 1 electron to chlorine atom, it gains a positive charge. क्योंकि देने वाला हमेशा बड़ा होता है, that is why it gains a positive charge. लेने वाला हमेशा छोटा होता है, that is the reason why chlorine gets a negative charge. So from here 1 electrons leave this orbit and it will what happen? It will go to chlorine and they will form together what? NaCl. This was Na and this was Cl. Together they combine, ये दोनों combine हो जाएंगे and it will form what? NaCl. This 1 electron is given to this. They are sharing 1 electron. Okay, so this becomes what? It is having 8 electrons now. जो extra एक था वो उसने उसको दे दिया. So this is having 8 electrons. This is also stable and it gains what? A positive charge because it is giving the electrons. Now as this one is taking the electrons, it develops what? A negative charge, but it also completes itself. Now, another important term is isotopes. Now, for isotopes, you need to again remember about atomic number and atomic mass number. Pehle to what is atomic number? So, atomic number, that is Z. It is the number of electrons or protons in an atom. Okay. And what is atomic mass number? That is denoted by A. So, it is the total number of protons and neutrons in the nucleus of the atom. So now isotopes. So isotopes are the atoms of the same element having same atomic number. Yani ki same number of electrons or protons can be there, but they have different atomic mass number. So same atomic number is there, but different atomic mass number is there. Now here in this example, if you will see, you can see all three are hydrogen only. This is called as three isotopes of hydrogen. Hydrogen 1, that is called as protium, hydrogen 2 is called as deuterium, and hydrogen 3, that is called as tritium. Now here if you will see, they all have same number of electrons, that is same atomic number. But in the nucleus if you will see, so there are different number of the protons and neutrons which are present. So these are different. So that is the atomic mass number is different. And that is the reason these are called as the isotopes, because they have same atomic number but different mass number. Now like this, many isotopes are available in the nature. For example, isotope of iron, isotope of carbon, carbon 12, carbon 14. ऐसे बहुत सारे isotopes are available in the nature. They are same. For example, if you see hydrogen, all three are hydrogen only. But the difference is between the atomic number and the atomic mass number. The most common example of isotopes is of carbon, that is the most stable isotope of carbon are carbon 12, carbon 13 and carbon 14. Now children, there are nuclear reactors in the nuclear power plant. Now if you see nuclear reactors, so we have the example in Mumbai like the Baba Atomic Research Center. This is also a nuclear reactor. Now nuclear reactor is a machine that generates electricity on a large scale by using atomic energy. So you must have heard about energy production because by using water or by using wind. So here the energy is produced, the electricity which we get, all of this electricity is produced with using the atomic energy. Now in the atoms, if you will break the atoms, the nucleus which is there, the nucleus have a very tremendous amount of energy, and this energy can be utilized to produce electricity. That is called as a nuclear reactor. Now, how energy is produced by you in the nuclear reactor by using atom. So what we use an atom of uranium-235. Like this, many atoms are there that can be used, but here we are using the example of uranium-235. So we take a neutron, and this neutron is bombarded on the atom of uranium-235. Now, as this neutron is bombarded on this atom, what it does is it absorbs the neutron and it breaks. इसका जो nucleus है that will break. And as the nucleus breaks, because as it is breaking, tremendous amount of energy is released, and also two things are formed, that is barium and krypton. And उसके साथ साथ three neutrons are also formed. So this will break and energy is released. We also get barium and krypton and we get three neutrons. So these three neutrons are formed here, and this part is called as nuclear fission. Now why it is called as fission? Because we are breaking the nucleus which is there. Okay. Then we get three neutrons. Now these three neutrons which are there, they will be again be bombarding on another uranium atom. अभी वहाँ पे बहुत सारे यूरेनियम के एटम है. एक जो है वो एक को एब्जॉर्ब किया एक एटम पे. Then as it break, again three atoms are released. So as three are released, this one then gets absorbed by some other uranium atom. वो break होगा, again three form होंगे. Then this one जो एक और था, this will be absorbed by something else. then again 3 will be formed, this will also be absorbed by something else, this will be formed. This is a continuous reaction which takes place जब तक कि uranium atom पूरे खत्म नहीं हो जाएंगे, and this reaction as it is continuous it is called as nuclear fission and also as the chain reaction because a chain of reaction is formed here. So this type is called as the nuclear fission reaction, and in this amount of energy that is produced, that is huge, but this is also very explosive. ऐसे बहुत सारे cases हो चुके हैं. For example, if you see the Chernobyl, so Chernobyl also nuclear reactor bursted, and because of that the radiation which was there, that was there in the air, and many people also died. A lot of devastating effect was there on the environment also. So these things are risky, it should be done properly, and if it explodes, accidents takes place, then it is very dangerous for humans as well as for the environment.